And it was a big day at the state legislature for more than 1,000 bills. Known as Suspense Day, lawmakers officially decided which pieces of legislation will move on in the legislative process and which will die. Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace gives us a look at which got the axe and which made the cut.
Well, just take a look at all of these pages featuring a list of bill after bill after bill that got taken up. And as you can imagine, lawmakers whose bills made it through say they're relieved, while others whose bills faced a different outcome say they're disappointed.
Make polluters pay! Make polluters pay!
Environmental advocates making their voices heard outside the state capitol, urging support for a package of bills they believe will help California phase out fossil fuels. All of it taking place on what's known as Suspense Day. On this day, the Assembly and Senate Appropriations Committees considered 1,009 bills that could have fiscal impacts on the state. Specifically, they're pieces of legislation that would require the state to spend at least $50,000 from the general fund or $150,000 from another special fund. All the more significant this year as the state faces what the governor believes is a $27.6 billion deficit.
Do pass?
Among the bills that advanced, AB 2716 by Assemblymember Isaac Bryan. The proposal would impose a $10,000 daily fine against oil wells if they're near communities and producing less than 15 barrels per day.
When I talked to the oil industry, which I don't often do, about these stripper wells, they told me the environmental impact is the same for low-producing wells and high-producing wells. So why are we allowing these low-producing wells to even exist?
Another proposal of his to enshrine into the California Constitution the right to clean air and water also advanced. On the Republican side, a bill by Bakersfield Senator Shannon Grove to classify the solicitation of a child for sex as a felony made it through as well. And while more than 60% of bills did make it through, many did not. Among the killed bills, one that would have created a Medicare for all type system in California, another that would have required an employer to provide employees with the right to disconnect after work, and one that would have limited fixed utility bill charges. Two reparations bills by Senator Stephen Bradford calling for housing and property tax assistance for descendants of black enslaved Americans also failed.
What was your reaction?
I mean, it's disappointment. Property ownership, that's how we build generational wealth in this country, and African Americans have been denied ownership through redlining, restrictive covenants.
It's just a challenging budget time, and so we needed to be responsible with taxpayers' money. So that's why we had to make some tough calls today.
And as for the bills that did advance, they now move from their house of origin to the other house. Only with approval from there can they make it to the governor's desk. Reporting at the state capitol, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.